Alrighty, so I was going to actually take the week off. Going to Regina this weekend for a wedding, but there's been so much that's happening with the CFL in particular, and we'll get into that. But I'm wearing the Toronto Blue Jays jersey tonight. And before I press record, Michael was like, I have Michael Gerl here from Gerl Media, who covers the junior leagues and all that fun stuff. He's been on the show before, and I want to do this via Zoom because Facebook Live only keeps for 30 days, and so this is forever. Uh, there's been so much that's been going on. It's just insane, and yeah, it's all exciting. And um, as soon as I think maybe engagement on my page isn't at the highest, as soon as you start poking the bear with the CFL, people are speaking out, and it's exciting. So I wanted to bring Michael on tonight. I wanted to bring you on tonight to discuss all this. Fun stuff, and then the anxiety of the Toronto Blue Jays. And I think Detroit Tiger fans would share the same sentiment. So everybody's going to go to London, Ontario at the meet and go to Tim Hortons Coffee. Tiger fans, Jays fans, we'll figure that one out. But I guess yeah, let's start with the baseball, and then we'll transition into the new CFL rules. Kind of go from there. You were telling me just before I pressed record that you can't remember a baseball season quite like this.
No, I can't. You touched on it in the opening. 12 and a half game lead for the Detroit Tigers, 14 games overall. Cleveland was back. And, well, at the time of this recording, the AL Central goes to Cleveland, who does not have a closer, who sold off at the deadline.
Yeah.
Um, Boy, Detroit just in one of those free falls. They've had it really, really bad there coming out of the All-Star break. They raided the ship, and then all of a sudden, last 10, 20 games just haven't been able to string anything together. And Cleveland's winning 15 out of 18, 16 out of 19, the kind of run. But I don't know if you remember this, Steve. Do you remember the run up the Colorado Rockies years ago?
I do the 2007 season, and then they played that game
The
versus
one game tiebreaker and the
one game
extra innings, and
tiebreaker in extras.
he got his chin on the base.
Right. And the Matt Holiday celebration and all of that. And it is reminiscent of that. But again, there seems to be all these kind of races that are going on. Uh,
Yep.
the Jays overtaking first, and then could have been up by 7 or 8, but then they fall back to 3 and 4. They had the run of 37 and 14 or whatever it was.
And then Houston having a meltdown at Seattle's expense. Seattle now that
Exactly.
I mean, I can't remember this. And then it seems to be the snail's race for the number 7 seed in the NL between Cincinnati, the Mets, and maybe an outside shot of it being somebody else. So,
Mhm.
man, baseball is a funny game. 182 games and it's really weird. It's just a really weird year, and I just remember the preseason tapes and how bad they were. Oh, the Dodgers are going to be setting all kinds of records for wins like they're never going to lose. And all of a sudden, their bullpen can't hold it together. So it,
No.
it's
Yeah.
it's a very fascinating what's going on with baseball.
Yeah, and I think that kind of speaks to, I was kind of against the pitch clock and all of that. And then, the purists, and this will be a good transition to the other thing. In 95, 30 years ago, they introduced the wild card, and then it was like, okay, well, let's create more wild cards. Well, what's the point? The point is that it keeps fan bases engaged and at attention, right? And that's all part of the deal here. Again, what the Jays have done, if you would have told me in April that they have a 1 game lead with 5 games to go, I would take it. It's just, it's the Tom Petty free falling going on here a bit. Let's hope Scherzer can win, right? I'll be
Yeah.
watching that game on my phone tomorrow at the Faith night. So Hopefully, I don't yelp too much. But I don't know. I desperately want them to get this bye because this best of three malarkey baloney is just well, we've seen that movie many times.
Can I ask you something?
Sure thing.
Do you risk burning pitching on the weekend to try to get that number one seed at the risk of maybe having no pitching for the wild card series?
I think you do. I mean, it's a very good question. I mean, they were talking about that, a bit about that on the broadcast today. You know, if everything's good, and then maybe you rest Gosman on Sunday, and then you don't pitch him till Saturday, the first weekend in October, right? So that all kind of plays to that.
But I'm saying,
Whether
like, do you pitch Lossman on Sunday at the expense of maybe trying to avoid playing Tuesday through Thursday?
yes, you do.
And if you don't, then what? You know what I mean?
And then you bring Jose Barrios out of the bullpen. I'm not sure.
Right? And then, well, here's the other thing. Right now, they would be lined up to play Boston.
hmm Right.
So you have a chance to eliminate somebody by taking care of business this weekend. And it didn't look like that happened tonight at all.
No, and Springer had an opportunity there in the one inning. I'm not sure on that base if it was on that ball that he had hit, if that was fair or not. It looked like, you know, it kind of went over the base, and the umpire goes, no, it was foul. Then the next pitch, it was completely outside, and he's called out. And it's like,
Yeah.
are you
Well,
kidding me?
well, I
Like, you know,
mean,
the baseball gods were not playing favors tonight.
it can't be as worse as what happened in Kansas City with the trap ball.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know who made that call there, but that looks like a catch to me and a double play. And it's just the whole thing is very, very interesting.
Yeah, it definitely is, right? So what's the point of video review if you can't get it right? It's like, really?
It's almost like what they need to do, Steve, is they need to say, okay, you cannot. Like, I don't know if this is the way to do it in the CFL or the way to do it in baseball. There needs to be a way that, in my opinion, the replay officials
hmm
do not know what the actual call on the field is. And they just say, okay, here's the situation, here's the video.
Right,
You don't get to see the umps or the officials call. What is the call?
right,
And if you can't come up with some kind of answer within 2 minutes, you go back to them and you say, okay, your call on the field stands.
right.
I mean, that would be a way to remove any prejudice, supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly, right? And you start thinking, well, okay, the review center's in New York, and yeah, I'm going to play that card a bit. It's like I'm not
Yeah,
sure what they saw that we weren't all seeing. Dan Schulman's
right.
called games for years.
But the
No.
problem is, Steve, and this was the concern that I had with the Blue Jays right from the start.
hmm
They have no home run power whatsoever.
No,
If they don't get base hits, if they don't get station to station baseball, they're not scoring.
that's right.
And the answer to me is Bo Bichette.
Yeah,
That extra guy with first and third, first and second, two out, can punch a base hit through, to score one and move the line along. The one positive thing is, outside of a 20-1 game on Friday, their losses have been close, and you can't say that they've been blown out of the ball yard when they
no,
do lose.
right. I mean, Bieber gives up the two home runs on Saturday night, and then they
Right.
hit a home run. And it's like, but then they can't get the tying run. It's like, come on, guys. Like, then they win
Yeah.
8-5 on Sunday. Okay. And then they're popping champagne bottles. Like, doesn't any, and I get it. You're in the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
but there's more playoff spots than there ever have been. Oh,
Yeah.
again, don't want to go to that best of three. Yeah, it is an
Oh, God.
accomplishment.
No, no, please, no, please,
No,
no.
right. Right. We saw Manoa do that 3 years ago, game one, and then we saw the Springer collision in game two. Uh,
Barrios on
Rios
a
being pulled
gem and they
early.
take
Yeah,
him out.
right. And so, you know what? Again, you got 5 games, and it's like, okay, I thought, okay, if the White Sox don't get, and I just don't want to get in position, and now I
Yeah,
am. I'm watching the other games more than the Jays, and hoping,
yeah, yeah.
like pacing around the living room.
But you know what? It's interesting. I think the fact of the matter is this, and
Hmm.
I think this is a good way to kind of end this spot.
Yeah,
You remove the objectivity from the last 2 weeks, and you say in mid-April, hey, 5 games left, one up on the Yankees, chance to get that 1 seed. Do you take it?
yeah,
And the answer,
right.
more times than not, is yes.
Yes.
And I think when you spend that kind of positive light on it, to relative to what expectations were, um, it's a pretty good scenario.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, and can't do anything about tonight, so we hope Scherzer can.
That that
Scherzer
that's
won't be as bad as he was on the Friday. We'll just say that.
that's the one good thing about baseball, Steve, is you're not sitting on this for a week.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? If you're the Bombers, you're stewing on a loss for 8 days.
Hmm.
Banjo Bowl, Labor Day, that's a whole another discussion. But
Yeah.
you don't have a chance to stew on it all that much.
Nope. Right. It's the next day. Let's go. And they don't have a day off tomorrow. It's Wednesday, and I think they'll play every day until Sunday. So they'll have.
I wonder what's gonna happen now Friday. Does Sportsnet traded Apple James last Friday with this Friday?
Yeah, that is
Just
uh
just saying. I haven't heard anything yet, but
well, I think if anything tells us you got to keep the customer happy. Uh
I think I don't know if you know this, Steve. There's some wide reporting out there that Apple will not be a part of the next Major League Baseball contract next year.
Oh, really?
There's some reporting out there.
I
So,
see. Well, they were calling Pete Walker Paul Walker last Friday, so I had a good laugh
oh,
about that one. I'm like, are
yeah,
you kidding me? I need to go for a walk right now and wear my nose
yeah.
now.
You know what? If anything, and I think this is a good fact to kind of leave it on.
Hmm.
I think the Blue Jays have the best TV booth in the league with Showman and Martinez, and
Yeah,
then
they do.
Caleb Joseph and whoever
Yeah,
else slides in there.
yeah,
I don't think Canadian sports fans. Actually, you know what? I would even put that with hockey. When you get Chris Comfort calling a playoff game, for all the heat that he gets,
yeah.
this country is blessed with an abundance of broadcasters that
No doubt. No
that
doubt.
meet the moment, right? And absolutely. And guess what? I'm so happy that Shulman and Martinez will get to call playoff games this year.
Yeah, because in 2015, 2016, that wasn't happening, and there was somebody on the page, Shannon. She brought that up, and I said, no, I think they're going to call them. So
Yeah,
we
they
saw
are.
that with the Toronto Raptors too, right? Uh,
They are.
so let's.
And the big thing is just a bit of a bad story. They were worried about the broadcast numbers, hence why the Blue Jays couldn't have their own broadcast.
Hmm.
But the Canadian numbers are not factored into the American numbers. So Sportsnet is not lumped in with TBS or Fox for when it comes to playoff numbers. They're completely separate. So since I think 2020 or 2021, there was an arrangement where the Blue Jays, much like the Raptors, could have their own playoff feed.
Okay.
And that's how we are where we are.
I see, because I wondered what the switch was. So yeah, thanks, Michael, for explaining that.
Yeah, that is from a well placed source who spoke to the Toronto Sun actually. So credit to them. I read it in the Toronto Sun article about a week ago.
Okay, good,
So
good. Right on. Well,
so
let's
from one bow in a china shop to another.
yeah, let's kind of address the elephant in the room. I've never seen so much supposed outrage. Well, there outrage. There was outrage. There has been outrage. Continues to be outrage. I kind of put some stuff on the page and just man, maybe it sticks, maybe it doesn't. I had lunch today with Leighton. uh, who's just pumped about these new changes. So I actually wrote them down so kind of look somewhat professional.
Yep.
Um, moving of the goalposts, end zones from 20 to 15, the 55-yard line, rest in peace. 20-second clock to 35-second clock. Benches on opposite sides, so BC Place, and I think in Montreal and
Yep.
Toronto.
Yep.
So that doesn't change Winnipeg. And then
Benches on the same side.
right, and then the Rouge. Long live the Rouge. Um, so we can't be rewarded for failure. So this started coming out on Sunday
Yep.
afternoon. And then it was like, okay, what is going on here? And again, the CFL purists, the traditionalists are like, oh boy. And like we're canceling season tickets and we're doing all of this. How do you, Michael, kind of view these changes? Were they necessary? Are they is the commissioner kind of in the right? People think, okay, well, he kind of doesn't know what he's doing, but the commissioner's there to do something. So the commissioner of the CFL is often get criticized for doing nothing, and now he does something, but that's just how life works.
Oh, it's a screwed if you do, screwed if you don't, right?
Right.
Um, yeah, no, I was on a podcast immediately after it happened, so you tended to get my cold reaction, but I think twofold.
Hmm.
I'm okay with this, but I don't want it to go any further. I think a lot of people's outrage is because they feel that this is going to set the stage for full blown NFL, UFL merger, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
The part that they kind of lost me at was when the commissioner was asked directly, can you talk to your fan base? And I'm paraphrasing that this will never become a four down game. And he said, no, I can't.
Yeah.
That's where the outrage kind of started. From a standpoint of where I sit, it's a very smart decision to say what he said. Because if you say, oh no, this game's never going to go to four downs, well, you boxed yourself into a corner.
That's right.
However, the traditionalists will say, okay, three down football is three down football. My biggest argument is actually the goalposts. We don't get what happened to Trey Babel on Saturday under these new rules.
That's right.
Historically speaking, Steve, I think they said it would lead to 60 extra touchdowns,
Yes.
moving the goalposts.
Yeah.
So about one a game ish,
Yeah.
half a touchdown a game. And now you can be more creative inside the 20-yard line. I guess my opinion is I'm kind of split.
Okay.
I said on the podcast that I appeared on yesterday, I liked the changes. I was able to reflect and talk to people that do not like it. I have my phone blowing up on Sunday afternoon going, do you have any idea what they're going to announce? And three people in my phone told me if it goes to four downs, I am out as a season ticket holder. That is not Canadian football. They're trying to Americanize this more. Paraphrasing what I'm hearing from people that are talking on my phone,
That's fair.
there's a lot of animosity. Animosity might be too strong, but I think the commissioner certainly didn't help himself by going through the why. Why are we doing this? And yes, they had a shiny new video to explain the rules and job well done on the presentation part. That's come a long way.
There has to be some sort of presentation.
Right. But what I'm trying to say is we never got into the why. Why these changes? And it leads to absolute speculation. But when 7 out of 9 teams in the league are losing money, something has to change.
Yeah.
Is the answer removing the 55-yard line? Is the answer generating more offense? Because now with the field goal post being 15 yards back, every field goal is going to be further away.
Right.
I think you're de-incentivizing the team inside the 20-yard line from kicking a field goal now. I really do. I think you're going to see more teams go for it. I think you're going to see Sergio Castillo turn into Brandon Aubrey and try a 60 something yard field goal. Um,
That's fair.
which is interesting because people say, "Oh yeah, well, the field goals are going to be difficult, be more difficult to make." My argument would be, okay, if you're Sergio Castillo and you want to try a 62-yard field goal, knock yourself out. You don't have to worry about them running it back anymore because your field goal posts are so far back.
Yeah, that's right.
If anything, this puts onus on the punter. Now he's got to pin those punts perfectly. I agree 100%. You remove the rouge when it goes through the end zone for rewarding failure, but you keep the rouge if he can't get the ball out of the end zone. This whole 10 yards shorter thing is really rubbing me the wrong way.
Like in the end zones.
No, generally, you don't need a shorter football field. Is 10 yards that much of a make or break?
Well, I had this discussion with Leighton today. I said, there's been some Bomber games where I have to like turn my head at the end of the court. I've been watching the whole game at the one side. Like, are
Yeah,
how much of the field are they actually using? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like if they
No,
would have screwed with the width, well then I'm ticked.
well, it's understandable because I don't know if you caught this when the commissioner said it. We want to give them 2 years of what we can enact some premium seating. My question is, what value do your end zone seats have now? You're further away from the play.
Yeah.
Are you adding more on-field seats?
Well, in Winnipeg, that would be somebody had said maybe you set up some hot tubs. I don't,
No, but you know what I mean? And
yeah.
this is the subjectiveness that I think the CFL painted themselves into is we're making this decision with no absolute explanation as to why. The board of governors, sure, it can be unanimous. What are they going to do? Go against their boss? Right?
Right.
And then the other side of this, even too, that I think wasn't even taken into consideration is who's paying to have all these football fields changed in Winnipeg. That's gonna have a cascading effect for my 6-year-old family member that plays football. Who's paying to move those goalposts back? Who's paying to make those football fields 10 yards shorter? And then to hear Nathan Ward come out and say what he said yesterday,
Hmm.
with all due respect, the players do not need to be consulted with business decisions. But I would implore anybody to listen to Michael Shea's coaches show yesterday. He said a lot without saying a lot yesterday.
Yes, yes, he did. I didn't listen to it, but I saw some clips. Um, yes, and he's a purist. He's a traditionalist.
He played the game, Steve.
He played it. He won
You
Grey
you
Cups.
talk to anybody that played the game.
Yeah,
I mean, Bob Irvin and Mel Stito were getting into a Twitter back and forth. I don't know if you saw that one
I didn't see
today,
that one.
but it was respectful. But again, the purists coming out. But I think if you can say, okay, this is gonna make extra money making these changes, fine. And it
Right.
was
Do
Chris
you think it's
Edwards
going
is
to make it more appealing to the younger fan? Like, oh,
not.
this is kind of the NFL. This is going to get that 20-year-old kid into the stadium to watch the game. Is
I
that
don't know.
is that why they would do it?
To me, Steve, that makes no sense at all. I'm not going because the field is 10 yards shorter.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm just throwing stuff at the wall here, but
No, and the 35-second play clock to me just devalued your whole last 3 minutes. I know what a TSM producer said on Twitter, but it's not going to really affect things because it includes the clock being reset and the ball being moved within that 35 seconds.
yeah.
But basically, a minute 20 left, no timeouts. You kneel down, you win the game, you're done.
Well, I mean, the commissioner said something yesterday in the interview with Dave Naylor. He goes that on Saturday there was some where Hamilton won. That a minute and 30-second drive took about 11 minutes of real time. Now, again, is this to keep the people that leave the game 10 minutes early in the seats? Uh, I don't care when I get home. I just, there's some stuff I like too, and there's some stuff I don't like.
Well, and I think, who was it now? Was it Nick Lewis on Twitter?
Nick Lewis.
He asked, where does the ball go if he misses a field goal? Where the ball was tipped?
Yeah, right.
To me, they explained part of it, but not everything. And I think that is the one add-up failure that the CFL had yesterday was explaining the why.
Yeah.
Because it's like a hockey player in a system, and I've been there coaching ball hockey. I want you to do this, this, and this in the corner. The player asked me why. They don't see the benefit. Fans are asking why.
Yeah,
Fans are jumping to conclusions because of it.
right.
I'm telling you, Steve, if this goes any further than these rule changes,
Hmm.
you're gonna risk losing a lot of people.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. I mean, it's um, change is hard, but yeah,
I had
why are you
50-year-old people telling me yesterday, why are they doing this?
hmm
It makes no sense, paraphrasing.
yeah.
But again, it's the why, right? And is it really going to bring in that amount of money when 7 of the 9 teams already lose money in the league, minus Winnipeg and Saskatchewan?
But do you think this does set up for expansion? Do you want the CFL to expand to places like St. Louis or Utah?
No, to be completely honest.
Okay.
Um, the American issue is completely separate. CBS Sports Network, and I don't mean to disparage the coverage that they do after the Banjo Bowl.
Hmm.
They show almost no games in the second half.
That's right.
Our Grey Cup playoffs and Grey Cup are on CFL Plus, which is a streaming app,
Hmm.
which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, according to people that I talked to. I mean, it barely worked in Canada for the preseason games, but
And the press conference on Monday.
that's another whole story for itself.
Hmm.
Um, but again, if you wanted to eyeballs on the product, put in games in America where 80% of your 90% of your roster is American, and they gotta go to some streaming app and they have no choice but to watch it live. Like, to me, that's devaluing 95% of your players and 90% of your players when the people at home either have to watch it live or they don't watch it at all.
Right.
Like, I don't know. To me, I it's an incomplete picture.
Hmm.
I like the changes, but I also hate the changes because I don't know why, and I fear where this is gonna go next.
Like, do you think this would? Do you think it is some sort of feeder league to the NFL?
Aren't we? Aren't we already?
To a point. I mean,
But how many of those NFL, how many of those Canadian Football League players actually stick?
well, there's Cameron Wake, uh, Arlen Bruce made it for the 49ers. I mean, I'm going back here a bit, but
Right, but in in recent memory.
In recent memory, very few. I mean, Nathan Rourke bounced around, right? He went to the
Yeah.
Giants, he went to the Falcons, and
Matai Polk couldn't.
yeah.
The
Right.
rider receiver, what's his name, couldn't. The
And went
Canadian
to
there.
Indianapolis, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um, yeah, I don't know. There is that tradition, and I don't know. It's yeah, I have a lot of mixed emotions about it as well, and I know that nothing ever stays the same. But it's like, what are you doing? You're coming out with this announcement at the end of September. This just kind of comes about.
Well,
Um,
I'll tell you what. Just, I was talking to my co-host about it, who I do a CFO podcast with every week, and I said, "Why now?" I said, "This is usually a commissioner's address item that he could potentially announce."
mhm.
And he says to me, and once again, I'm paraphrasing, Mike, nothing good ever comes from these things. They're gonna want to blow this over before it gets to the Grey Cup because this is gonna whatever it is, because we didn't know at the time, is gonna dominate Grey Cup week and steal the headlines. Knowing what we know now, imagine if he announces this Tuesday of Grey Cup week.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody's talking about the Grey Cup in Winnipeg. Nobody's talking about the Brad Paisley concert. Yeah, it's all
So, and again, like to me, the whole thing is botched. Like
hmm.
from another standpoint of okay, you're gonna have BC playing games all over BC while their home is rightfully so with the World Cup, and you're gonna have Toronto play a game in Hamilton, but it's a home game, a game here that's in Winnipeg.
And
That is a home
Saskatchewan.
game for them, and a game against the Riders that's a
Yeah.
home game for them.
And you couldn't play in the University of Guelph or Waterloo.
Like it doesn't make any sense. You're just
No.
then what it strikes like to me, Steve, is we know we can get people there because people will go to a bomber game in Winnipeg, 33,000 a pop every game. Let's give that money to the Argos to try to inject more money into our lead.
Right.
Like, that's what that says to me. And it's a complete slap in the face to a market that I dare say needs football games in their market to continue to market the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot help but feel, what does MLSE have to do with all of this?
Well, and they came out and supported the partnership with the Buffalo Bills to grow the game in Canada. So what is this? The Buffalo Bills Toronto series again, right? So these sorts like it
Please just
makes no
ask how
sense.
that NFL game went in Winnipeg.
It makes no sense. And somebody said, "Oh, it'd be easier to host an NFL game now in Winnipeg because the goalposts have moved back." Okay, so I saw a post. I'm like, really?
How does that help CFL?
It doesn't. Everybody thinks the NFL can help see it. The NFL cares about what? The NFL. They don't care about anybody else but themselves.
Correct.
Period. No, you know it. So I'm not gonna. I don't have to convince you.
I thought already gonna have a rage fit more than I already had in my own head.
Yeah,
The more we talked about this because it made zero sense.
right. And so you want to make these rules applicable to who? And
Then
again,
you don't even tell your players and your coaches.
no, right.
O'Shea had no idea what was going on. He hadn't even read the rule package that the CFL sent to him.
Yeah,
And then you have Nathan Ward, among others, speaking out. Granted, I don't know what power they have if they decide to change a rule because it sounds like the PA can't do anything about it based on their statement. They said, paraphrasing once again, we admit that we acknowledge that there are rule changes and will be. I don't know, man.
yeah, yeah. It's
This just gives ammo to the CFL's dying crowd.
yeah, yeah. We have to pull out all the punches and do all of this, and yeah, and I would even say this started even a few years back
Right.
when CFL games don't put them on Sundays. Yeah, you have to put the playoff games on Saturdays.
I
Okay,
mean, for an
so
for an
let's just fast forward to
for
November.
for an extent, I think to their credit, I think they did it right. I think they should have moved away from the NFL.
Yes, but let's fast forward to November 1st.
Hmm.
That is Game 7 of the World Series. If the Jays are in the World Series,
Hmm.
you're moving games. I don't care.
Hmm.
And yes, one game's early and one game's late, but they will move the game. You have to move the game. I know it's a set that would be the semifinal, but I'm sorry. You're moving that game.
Hmm. You and I have had this discussion about local hockey.
Oh, it drives me nuts. Um,
I know, I know, I know.
and I see that there is an MJHL game on Grey Cup Sunday in Bergen. I did see that. I scope it out all the time, but always playing on the Super Bowl, February 8th.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely drives me nuts. But, it's just, I don't know. How much NFL have I watched this year? I've probably watched maybe 3 games. I got my highlights. I'm good to go. I tried to call Kyle Brandt this morning on his show. I tried 42 times. It rang once. Like I'm in. I know what I'm doing. Like I don't miss a beat. I think it's fine.
you know how much NFL I've watched this year?
How much?
Two Thursday games. That's it.
That's it, eh? Okay.
Till I work all weekend calling hockey games.
Yeah, yeah,
That,
yeah.
and by the time I get home, I know what the score is, and
Nice.
Jerry Jones has upset me enough by trading Micah Parsons, but that's another whole story in
Right. Yeah,
itself.
but you have a big game on Sunday.
I do,
Huge.
but
It's
the
big.
Cowboys are gonna lose. That's coming from a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, because the Packers had their trap game this past week.
The that was the best. Not to call anybody out, but I was working with a Packer fan on Sunday while that
Mhm.
meltdown was going on.
Yeah.
I took great pride in watching him tell me all about it.
Yeah, so yeah, it's that's any given Sunday, any given Thursday, right?
I have a question just about the NFL, and we
Sure
can
thing.
maybe talk about this. How many times have we seen a quarterback struggle in one place and he goes to a new place and he plays like an MVP?
Quite a bit.
Well, isn't that amazing watching Daniel Jones, huh?
It is quite something. I know the first game was against the Dolphins, but for him to be 3-0, if he would have told me, everybody criticized why the Giants drafted him. Who's this guy when they should have drafted the late
Even
Dwayne
Carson
Haskins?
Wentz, what he did with Minnesota this past weekend.
Yeah, I think that was more on the defense, though.
Well, it was, but you have to manage the game to be able to put up that amount of points.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
so I mean, you have that, and then you have the Baker Mayfield story. He's adored in
yeah,
Tampa. So
that's a great
you
example.
got Sam Darnold who ripped it up in Minnesota. He seems to be doing well in Seattle. Uh,
Arizona seems to be doing well for themselves, though they lost their running back.
right in James Conner. So yeah, again, that's what the NFL is: storylines, and the amount of storylines with the CFL, I'm actually shocked they haven't brought it up on NFL Network. Because I know maybe if Peter
Yeah,
Schrager was there, maybe he
yeah,
would, because I think he seems to have the pulse. But
yeah.
it's just, yeah, it's.
But even Tuesday, but one more thing about this whole CFL
Mhm.
changing. How would Lyle Bauer, David Ackles, and all these previous Jim Hobson among them,
Yeah,
the governors that are no longer around but were stewards of the game when I was growing up, which was not that long ago, David Braley among others,
hmm
how would they feel knowing what Monday's announcement was about? Like that's what I keep coming back to.
yeah. I think they would be shocked. Not to put that would be my initial reaction. Um, they would be, what are you doing to this beautiful game?
You're talking about historic precedent here. You're talking about records now
Yeah,
on the 110-yard field versus the 100-yard field,
right.
just to name one example.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, like Steve. To me, it just seems like an incomplete picture. The whole thing.
Yeah, because where is this going? And he asked, well, when did you think about the goalpost? Well, in 1987 when I hit it.
Yeah.
And again, I bring up the Cody Fajardo when I was
Oh.
there. I saw that play and I saw a clear view of it. I didn't miss a
That
thing.
1987 reference by the commissioner to me just rubbed me the wrong way. There had to be a better example than I wondered in 1987 why the goalposts were there.
Well, maybe he should have used the Fajardo example in the 2019 West Final.
I mean,
'Cause
that's a viable example.
and I'm still wondering if that pass would have been completed, you know,
Probably.
right?
I don't know. I don't know. But I have so many issues with the way the CFL games are played now. Just from a standpoint of a defender can't seem to play defense because he gets a pass interference every a decent play.
Yeah, right.
And now you've just given more ammunition to the offense because now they got to cover the back of the end zone
Hmm.
and the side of the end zone.
Yeah.
I don't know. You've taken the missed field goal out of the game now and replaced it with essentially 1.5 offensive touchdowns more per game.
But the CFL, I don't think it's ever had an issue. About 10 years ago, there was issues with scoring. You know, there were a lot of
Yeah.
lower scoring games. And now the scoring, to me, a CFL game that ends 20 to 13, like that West Final, that was a
Mm-hmm.
very entertaining game. It was
I did
extremely
entertain
entertaining.
just as much by 20 to 13 as I do 46-43.
Yeah. It's just, and like the NFL, they've adjusted with their kickoffs and they've, yeah, root, but their
That's the other
rules.
thing. Are we moving away from kick returns now if you've taken away the missed field goal?
Yeah, I know it's a slippery slope, right? It provides all these unanswered questions, the incomplete
And
picture.
it doesn't help with the political discourse going on between the Canadians and the Americans right now.
Yeah.
That has just made this Tinderbots go even more. You're going to Americanize our game, and America seems to be having
Yeah.
issues in the highest office in the land.
Mm-hmm.
Not to save it anything political here, but
Nope.
certainly that doesn't help things.
No, it doesn't. Nope. Not at all, right? So, um, because yeah, when those people were opposed to it prior, and now they're like, okay, what are we doing here? And this again, read
I'm
between the
just
lines.
really
I'm not going to go there because people can figure it out, but
right, but I'm just really confused that the CFL didn't even take the blowback as a hint when there was this UFL XFL merger talk way back when, and it was all negative.
hmm.
They had to know this was coming.
But do you know? Do you think they that was this has something to do with that?
Pardon me, sorry.
Do you think they would have gotten those ideas like when The Rock brought all this up with the merger of the XFL? Do you think that's kind of
Well, I mean, it's apples to apples more than anything, and that's the problem. CFL and the NFL are football leagues, but they're different.
yeah?
They're different for their own love of the game. 55-yard line, the missed field goal return, among others.
Hmm.
You have members of the RCMP presenting the Grey Cup every year.
Yeah. Well, they didn't
NFL's
take that
gone.
away.
NFL's gone very corporate that way. I don't know. There's things in there, Steve, that make this game distinctly Canadian.
Yeah.
The 3 minute warning versus the 2 minute warning. The quad stopping on every play instead of the 3 minute warning, so the game really becomes 57 plus three.
Hmm.
Right? Those name me a lead that doesn't have any issues. I'll wait.
Yeah.
There are none. Every lead has flaws. Every lead has issues. Even the NFL, believe it or not.
I mean, they have the league meetings all the time, right? They're always in conversations. They're the NFL is more popular than it's ever been. And again, that's based on, you know, the Kelsey Mahomes theme or whatever else, the Swift Kelsey thing going on. You got Jalen Hurts, you got NFL Network. That is a 24/7 thing. And heaven forbid that the CFL tries to be like the NFL. And that's what people are deathly fearful of.
Yeah. No, and like I said at the beginning of this, Steve, I'm okay with these changes, but any further makes me very, 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 very scared.
Hmm.
And you know what? I might just get season tickets for next year so I can witness 11 or 12 games of our game the way it's supposed to be played.
Yeah. Well, I think there's room in our sections.
But no, it's one of those things where again, if you would have come out and said this is the reason why, I think people would have been more understanding.
Right.
And for goodness sakes, consult people before you go out and say something.
I would have thought he would have consulted the coaches,
Yeah.
at least.
How did the coaches feel about it, right?
Well, yeah, O'Shea definitely doesn't feel comfortable
He
with it.
he said a lot without saying a lot.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to get fined. I was surprised there wasn't a GoFundMe page for Nathan Warwick.
Well, how can the CFO find him if they do?
Yeah, I mean, you just never. I mean, the NFL, you're getting fined.
You
And
gotta
like
pick. I don't
Rorick's the
know.
face of the league.
Part of this for me, Steve, is you have a responsibility to pick up the phone and advise people before you go and make seismic changes.
Yeah.
That was a miscalculation on the CFL's part. Because you talked about a listening tour around the country. He might have to do that listening tour around 9 CFL locker rooms.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
I tell you right now, the CFL and CFLPA do not have the greatest of relationships if the last CBA was anything.
that's exactly it. I couldn't believe we were actually headed towards maybe a work stoppage, and then it was a 7-year agreement. I think that was back in
Yeah.
2022. So we have some time here, and then yeah, I don't know, very unprecedented times. And then what does that mean at the amateur
The
levels?
minute you lose me is when you move things like the Waggle and the things that make the CFL the CFL.
Yeah,
And who's going to be paying to have minor football fields have their goalposts pushed back?
right.
To to me, I think the U Sport has no choice but to follow suit now.
No, we see that with hockey, right? In the junior leagues, they do the 3-on-3 overtime, just like they do in the NHL. Everybody follows that format, right? So,
I mean, our junior women's league, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, we started in 2 days.
yeah.
We adapted the PWHO's jailbreak rule.
Hmm.
Team scores shorthanded, the player comes out of the penalty box. We got that idea from where? Professional Women's Hockey League.
Yeah, that's right.
CFO and NFL can get ideas from each other. It's, I don't know. Steve, I have a lot of questions.
Well, I wonder if there's going to be enough, if there'll be enough pushback where they don't do it.
And then how do you spin that PR narrative,
Yeah, I know.
right? Not our problem to worry about. Like I don't personally. I would see it very difficult to have it called back and switched. I think they're too far down the road for that. But
Right.
hey, the minute the CFL starts showing it in the pocketbooks in Winnipeg and Saskatchewan, ooh, you got a problem.
Well, yeah, because there are people who have said to me, "Yeah, I'm canceling my season tickets most likely." Um,
I mean,
I'm willing to give it a chance.
one of our podcast hosts for my CFL show is from Saskatchewan.
Hmm.
And respectfully, I have never seen a man angry yesterday.
Yeah.
He was not happy.
Yeah.
You can listen to the audio for yourself. He was dead against it.
Yeah.
I think the minute you start losing your purist, you got a problem. But again, not my issue to worry about.
Well, you kind of worry about, we talk about the future league, and if it's supposed to help the future league and entice that fan, I mean, and then everybody talks
I
about that
mean,
expansion.
let me flip it this way. Steve, I think you're okay with me saying this. You take your kids to Bomber games.
Yep.
Is Are these changes going to affect the way they view football games?
Uh,
Like,
I,
like,
I know I know they'll talk about the field goals, the goalposts being moved back. They'll probably wonder about that, but then
but you know what I mean. Like,
it won't
your
have,
kids are the future of the league,
right, exactly.
right? And they're going to take, hopefully, one day your grandkids, their kids to games, just like you took them to games.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. The more we talk about this, the more I'm not liking these changes.
Hmm.
Like the more I talk to people, and I hate to be, I tried to be that voice of reason yesterday, but there's a lot of people pulling me in the other direction in the last
Well, I'm gonna
24
do a show
hours.
with Leighton, who I had lunch with today. I'm gonna have him on September 30th.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Jays aren't in. Well, we may have to reschedule that one, but I said, hey, we'll talk about all this, and he brought up a lot of good points, and he goes, yeah, I'll bring them up on the podcast, and he thinks that these things are very enticing and very good for the game, so and it's going to help
I
with
mean,
expanding to the
let's be
U.S.
honest. Baseball, everybody was against the pitch clock
Yeah, me too.
when it first came in, and now games are under 3 hours. The game changed that much.
Um, Not really. No.
So maybe we better give that the benefit of the doubt too.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, I don't want to be sitting in the stands at 4.5 hours at a baseball game because they take a minute to throw pitches in the ninth inning.
Yeah.
But again, that's part of it. That's part of the suspense.
Right.
But
That
whether you
takes
like
a,
it or not, it's still suspenseful.
Yeah, like watching the Yankees and White Sox today, that was suspenseful, even with a pitch clock. But I
Yeah.
go back to Yankees Red Sox 2004, where Rivera could have
Oh,
thrown over so many times, the 6.5 hour games. Those were
yeah. And then one
incredible,
of them went like 12 or 13 innings on top of that.
right? Um, and so yeah, baseball's made changes, but as soon as people tinker around with the CFL, um, they poke that bear. What are you doing?
Are
There
people
are
angry?
CFL fans that hate the NFL and will never watch the NFL. And then what are you doing to my baby?
Are people angry just because this is a discussion point? Like
Well,
I've never seen the CFL in such prominent social media spaces.
yeah, they're talking about an overdrive with Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson's pumped. Uh, Again, the page was just very exciting. Everybody's just giving her in there, right?
Yep.
Good, healthy
Yep.
dialogue. Other CFL pages. It definitely has people talking to the point that it would be a national debate, a national news story, maybe.
National news story. But again, you wonder, right? Because the CFL needs a new TV deal after 2026. What does that look like?
Right. You would like to think maybe TSN would carry it on.
Is is it? What about streaming?
Right. Exactly.
For me, then this is just me. And people know with my job that I'm in a hockey rink 5 nights a week. I'm rarely watching Jets games on TV. I'm checking how they're doing on my phone, and I'm watching replays condensed on my phone.
Right.
I am not. I am more convinced than ever but there will be a streaming component in this next CFL deal.
Hmm.
There has to be. Given where this game is going and given where other sports have gone with streaming, I'm not convinced that CFL. Maybe TSN has the entire linear package, but I'm more and more convinced by the day that there will be some kind of streaming component. Maybe it's as simple as making the games available on TSN Plus
Right.
without the data enhanced feeds,
Hmm.
just straight broadcast.
Yeah.
I mean, why are a lot of people in love with the NFL? Because they see a nice catch that so and so made. Can you imagine Twitter in the age of David Tyree in the Super Bowl making that behind the back catch from Eli Manning? What Twitter would have done?
Yeah, it would have gone nuts.
So there's a lot of business opportunities in every league that need to be fixed. I'm not sure about this one the more we talk.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm happy to give it a chance. I just fear where it's going down the line.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree. It's this has been talked about so much. It's like, oh, the Bombers play on Saturday. We'll see how they do versus Hamilton. Oh, we'll see if it's really it's kind of put it in this like microcosm and
And the fact that Zachalaus might very well be back.
right. Um,
I haven't heard that today. I had to look it up because it was all this announcement from yesterday all over my X feed.
mhm. Yeah. So I mean, there's no shortage of things to talk about in the CFL, no doubt, right? And um, people I Rourke said too. This guy's been on the job for 151 days, and this is what comes up. I mean, yeah. Like I've said many times here, I think already, nothing stays the same, nothing forever. So yeah, we'll see again how these changes unfold. And I think there are some good parallels to the pitch clock in baseball. I mean, I didn't like it, but watching today, I don't even think about it anymore. And a game that's played at 3 hours is actually better. Again, when you're busy with family and doing other things around the house, that if it's 45 minutes shorter than it should have been, you got 45 minutes more to do stuff.
Yeah, I think the fact that you can get in and out of a ball game in under 3 hours in most cases is a win.
Yeah, that's right. Because we live in the information, instant gratification age of keeping people's attention and all of that, right? So it all plays
Yeah,
into it.
it's very it's a very I don't want to give away too many state secrets, but I don't think I'm giving away state secrets when I say this. I've been blessed and fortunate to be in the media industry for 15 years now,
Mhm.
since about 2010 ish, 2008 ish is when I kind of thought I was going to get into it. And 2010 was seriously the sort of a launching point. How much media consumption has changed
Yeah,
since then from a 15-year span till now?
yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah, it is.
How much it's changed from the last calendar year? Unbelievable.
Yeah,
People don't have time to sit around and watch content live most of the time.
nope.
And not to pull this into a quality of life scenario, but people were making the same amount of money as they were back 10 years ago. Cost of living has gone skyrocketing.
Mhm.
People are not living as comfortably as they used to financially for that reason.
Yep.
Do we really have time to sit and watch a 4 hour ball game now on top of that?
Yeah, no, we don't.
I did just instant gratification watching Blue Jays in 30.
Yeah.
Because if it's a game I don't want to watch, forget it. Just delete, delete,
Right.
delete. Like tonight, delete.
Delete. Yeah. You're only scoring one run out of here. Yeah, there has been again with I have a son that started hockey, a daughter that's into volleyball, and again with the NFL too, to kind of it used to just be Sunday and it used to just be the one game at noon, and if you missed that game, then okay, that was your week and you got to wait. Now with everything else, now you got
I
Thursday,
mean,
you got two games on the Monday.
newspapers have pretty much been a thing of the past because everything's online.
Right.
I can remember growing up, we had to go to the newspaper to get scores.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how they would say
I would just
they
say
would have a bot score and they would say late,
yep.
late, late,
Late.
late,
Yep.
not in time.
Right.
Well, if I wanted that standings and I wanted that a live score update, there you go.
Right. And so maybe kind of put a bow on all of this.
Yeah.
This is how it changes and everything kind of evolves.
That's why I would be willing to maybe give the CFL the benefit of a doubt here.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know because I think they didn't do a good job of explaining the why.
Right.
Yes, we're gonna expect 60 more touchdowns or whatever over the course of the season. Why?
But more touchdowns to me is like in the NFL, there was lots of touchdowns 10 years ago, and now the defenses have caught up where you're watching a 22-9 game on a Sunday night, and I think it's the most beautiful thing. And you're right, and that's how I fell in love with the
It's a
NFL. I was
beautiful
watching
thing
14.
because your Chiefs finally
Right.
get on the winning
Yeah, they
column.
did. But like they lost 20-17. They've played in some very tight games when games used to be like 41-40 or whatever. There was a Buffalo Bills game at 41-40, right? Between
Yeah.
them and the Ravens. And it's just to me, I never go to a CFL game and worry about if there's going to be scoring. The game will be what it is. It'll be exciting, and that's how it's going to be.
I think more and more people too are going to Bomber games for the social experience. And you and I have talked about this the last couple times I've been on here.
Hmm.
I'm seeing more and more people at Bomber games that I didn't even know were interested in Bomber games, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, right.
But again, you did hammer this topic until 2 in the morning and come up with other reasons why. But
Yeah, yeah, I agree. There wasn't really the why. It was like, well, we want to.
you
So
you've
they
left it open to people's interpretations.
right. So we can see the plays better. It's like, well, I can see the plays fine from my seat in the west side upper deck. Like I just,
I don't know.
you know.
Now, what value am I getting sitting in the end zone if my end zone seat is 10 yards further away?
Hmm. Right. Yeah, it's you know, I'll say that I guess kind of to end here, it does have the people talking, people in the CFL are talking, media outlets. I think these are good, healthy conversations to have, and what it's doing. If it's getting the guys at TSN Overdrive excited, I mean that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And um, yeah, there just seems to again be a lot of unknowns and the why, as you've said here, Michael, many times. And yeah, it's there's never a dull moment in the CFL.
Right. And again, Steve, I don't think we'll know the totality of everything until 5, 10 years down the line.
Yeah, right,
Because the commissioner did a hint, but it seems like he wants to fix the business model.
right.
How he goes about that, I don't know.
Hmm. Well, I mean, the CFL's lost their we're in the entertainment business, but putting the Argos in three other cities next year for their home games because of the World Cup of Soccer, it's not a good place to start. You can't tell me that there weren't other places in the GTA. I'm sorry. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And I'm circling back to the the point here again, but there are passionate Argo fans. There's Ginger Argo, um, who goes to every Argos game
How,
from the
how,
wood.
how would that fly in Winnipeg? Our stadium's not available, so we're playing in Brandon.
Yeah, that's not going
Or
to go
you're
well.
playing your home game in Regina. Regina hosts the Banjo Bowl. How would that?
It would be. I think Bomber fans would show up. It wouldn't be ideal. There would be outrage.
Yeah,
People would probably cancel their season tickets. I mean, the list goes on.
right.
Um, but yeah, I just see it as maybe, yeah, again, you've said it the best. The why, and if you just want to do change for change, but any
I'll
further,
tell you, it takes you know what for a commissioner to come out and say we're doing this, and this.
mhm.
Any of the past commissioners, I highly doubt would do this.
No, Randy, yeah, right. No,
I mean, credit where credit's due. He's trying to make changes.
yes, yep,
Questionable whether it's going about it the right way.
right, yep. And I guess we'll have to stay tuned and see where it goes. But as I say, definitely some exciting times, some exciting, nervous times ahead. I will say
So I have a
because
question for you just on the way out.
yeah, yeah,
What's the best time of year for a sports fan?
October,
October or spring?
October. You got basketball, you got Major League playoffs, you got hockey starts, NFL, October.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's always October.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Well, we'll see if it's an enjoyable October for our team.
yes. The stress is killing me, honestly. So, but
But
still one game up with the Jays, 5 games left. We'd take it, right?
yeah, actually two up to the have a tiebreaker.
That's yes. Keep that in mind. I always appreciate you, Michael, when you inbox me with that. It eases my mind because I on Saturday I had to go onto the driveway and pace around for a bit. I just that's what I do. It's a
Yeah.
coping mechanism.
Hey, listen. Sports fans are allowed to have passion. It's why we enjoy the game so much.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's good.
In good times and bad.
Totally. Good. Well, Michael, this has been awesome. Once again, I should have some music playing us out here, but I always appreciate your insights coming on. I wanted to get your take on it, and I couldn't just stay silent and not have somebody on this week. I'd be like, "Oh, where did Steve go?" But yeah, it's been good. It's been awesome, and hope you have yourself a great night here, Michael.
Yeah, you
Here,
too. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
yeah, no worries.